We've been fighting so long. You've messed up my collar. You've untucked my shirt. But no longer. Here is my ace in the hole. Spear of Elbaf!
Tell me like a Hellcat.
Anime fans, One Piece fans, what is good? The answer to that question, of course, is One Piece. One Piece is what's good, and anime as a whole as well. Today, we're going to be talking about Dorry and Brogy, the giant warrior captains. I think the giants as a whole species, are very underrated because the giants we've seen, like Oars and Little Oars Jr., John Giant, and whatnot, they were not that strong. But Dorry and Brogy, how strong are they? Because we know they were the captain of the giant warrior pirates and rampaged across the sea, so that is pretty big. Now, Dorry and Brogy were in the Little Garden arc, and that was a very, very long time ago. But I think that they were actually at least Admiral level and possibly even Yonko level. And here's why. So before I say why, let me get out of the way the concerns people would have. So for one thing, Mr. 3 waxed Brogy's feet and he was unable to move, and Dorry and Brogy's bounties were only 100 million. So here's what I have to say at that time. At that time, Dorry and Brogy, at the time they were introduced, One Piece was still very young, so Oda hadn't gotten the full scope of the One Piece world yet. Like 300 chapters later, which is like 4 years or something later, we saw Gecko Moria in the Thriller Bark arc, and we saw a picture of Kaido, and it looked nothing like Kaido does now, which says to us that Kaido wasn't fully designed through like 3 or 4 years after the Little Garden arc occurred. So that means the world at Little Garden wasn't nearly as planned out and as developed as it is now, and he probably changed a lot of things. So that would be why their bounties were so low, because at the time Little Garden arc happened, 100 million belly bounties were super high to us. Like, Luffy hadn't even gotten that bounty yet. We only knew that Crocodile's bounty was 79 million, I think, or something like that. So 100 million belly bounties were pretty big. And also, Gear 5 pointed out, because Gear 5 made a video that was almost proved that the giant warrior pirates are actually the Rocks pirates, and the Rocks pirates are the remnants of the giant warrior pirates who didn't want to be associated with the giant warrior pirates without their captains. Link will be in the description to that video. What I'm about to say is all Gear 5 and not me. I did not think this up, but Gear 5 did point out that 100 million bellies was probably a lot more 100 years ago than it is now, because we all know money decreases over time, and that could definitely be the same in the One Piece world, considering how Oda rolls and how well thought out One Piece is. And as for Mr. 3, as I said, the story was way underdeveloped at that time. I'm not even sure if Oda had really thought up the concept of the Yonkos yet. It was probably an abstract idea in his head. Like, he hadn't even fully developed Big Mom and Kaido 4 or 3 years later. So that is why their bounties were so low. But why do I think that they're Yonko level? Or not Yonko level, but at least Admiral level? It is because of Big Mom. Big Mom used the Spear of Elbaf, an attack they used at the Little Garden arc, and that is a Yonko-worthy attack. That is an attack worthy of a Yonko. Big Mom considered that attack worthy of her, and it was a you could just see, just by it being used, it was a Yonko-level attack. Dorry and Brogy used it against a giant goldfish known as the Island Eater. That is very impressive because they took him out like nothing. Because even though the Island Eater probably we would consider fodder now, I don't even think Luffy could necessarily beat the Island Eater. I'm tripping over my words. I don't think Luffy could beat the Island Eater like Dorry and Brogy were necessarily, because the Island Eater, the sheer size, even if your attacks are very powerful, it would be hard to take out something that size. Like, when it poops, they think the poops are islands. That's how massive this thing was, and Dorry and Brogy took it out like that. And using the Spear of Elbaf wasn't even their biggest attack. It wasn't even that hard for them. And another thing is, we have nothing to base their power on besides the things I just said, and I think I kind of debunked those, but we only saw them fight each other, and they were equal in power, so we didn't see them fight anyone else strong. Like, we didn't even see them fight Luffy, and I think we can all agree at the time they would have washed Luffy, and like all the Straw Hats together, they would have destroyed them. So, I think just based on all that, and the fact that the Elbaf Warriors have been hyped, I think that I can safely say that Dorry and Brogy were at least Admiral level, if not even Yonko level. Tell me in the comments how strong you think Dorry and Brogy are. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I'd really appreciate a comment, and I would discuss it with you even in the comment section. And I think the Giants as a whole are underrated because of some of their unimpressive showings, but I do believe at the Elbaf arc and in some flashbacks, we will realize that the Giants are much stronger than most people give them credit for. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, and only if you enjoy my content, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more One Piece content, because we all love One Piece here, I'm sure. So I will see you in the next video.